First thing on the agenda is a roll call. Ms. Castillion,
Here.
Mr. Davis,
Present.
Mrs. Drinkle, out. Mr. Flom's here. Mrs. Foley,
Here.
Mr. Toman,
Present.
Mr. Wilson.
Yep.
Okay. Who do I get to pick on the day? Mr. Harder, would you do the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and this is public comment section for the rec board. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concern to the patrons of Green River School. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. No.
All right. Good evening, Madam Chair, Board of Trustees, and Superintendent Cooper. My name's Danielle Kendall, and I'm here with the Green River Girls Softball Association. A couple months ago, we came to you guys asking for some funding for some things, so we just wanted to come back to you guys and share how we spent that money. I have a slideshow of some different pictures to go through, show you guys the number of kids that impacted and how many kids were able to benefit from the money that you guys provided our league. But I'm going to let us go. We'll kind of flip through the slideshow as the girls are talking, but I'm going to let the girls tell you what they learned and what they experienced.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Dixie Schoening. I am a student at Washington Elementary School. I wanted to say thank you so much to the Recreation Board of giving me and my teammates the chance to go to the Talons game. And I had so much fun. My favorite part was getting to meet Montana Fouts. She was really nice and I was so excited to meet her and her teammates. I also love the softball clinic. I learned the basics of pitching, and now I really want to be a pitcher next year. It made me even more excited to play softball. Thank you for helping me have such a fun day. I made such great memories, learned new things, and had an awesome time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for doing the camp. I had really fun, and thank you for teaching me how to be a better catcher and learn how to catch ball flies.
Hi, my name is Casey Schultz. I have been playing softball for 3 years with Green River, and it has been such an incredible experience. I am beyond grateful for everything that this league has done for me, and unfortunately, I don't think I will be able to join them next year, but it was such an amazing experience to spend this time and these seasons with these girls, and being able to go to this pro softball league has just made my passion and my want to play softball even greater. And I wanted to say thank you guys for giving me such an amazing opportunity for everything that you guys have done and helped provide and give us. So thank you so much.
Okay. She said she was going to make us all cry. All right. So yeah, we have a couple pictures, but yeah, with the money you guys were able to provide us, we were able to put together an elite softball camp. We had 3 college girls, one who played at University of Utah, that's Mariah. BYU is Kaysen, and oh my goodness, I'm having Weber. What's her first name now? Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting her last name. Weber. Joella. Joelle. She was from Weber State. So those three girls came out and ran a 3-day camp with us. And as you guys can see, we had about 95 kids show up every single day for that. 46 pitchers and catchers that were able to benefit from that. And then we took our 3 all-star teams, which is a 10U, 12U, and 14U. We took them to a Talon softball game in Utah, which is a professional softball game. It was their opening day. The girls got to go out on the field, and as they announced the girls, you guys can see they were lined up on the field, and they got to give the girls high fives. They got to stand next to the girls for the national anthem. We also got to meet one of the team managers, who is a 3-time softball Olympian and legend herself, Lisa Fernandez. She was there, and they were on ESPN. We caught that one too. It was pretty cool. But then after they got to meet the players after the game, Montana Fouts is the pitcher you see there on the left, talking with Harper Santif, one of our pitchers. She was absolutely incredible. She's one of the best pitchers in the world right now. And she took the time. These girls, her and Sarah Willis, actually, those 2 team pictures, those girls stayed, geez, it seemed like an hour, probably at least 30, 40 minutes after the game, just to talk to our girls and share their experiences, what got them into softball, and talk with our girls. So it was pretty impactful. So we just wanted to come back and tell you guys thank you and let you know how we spent that money.
Thank you. It's nice to see what you guys did with our money. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Doesn't look like we're gonna have anybody else, so move on to approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
I second.
Okay? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
District goals and leadership, we don't have anything. Bid request, nothing. Other business, Mrs. Harder.
Hi. I don't have a remote. Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So good evening, Chairman Flom, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. You have before you the 26-27 Rec Board budget. The Recreation Board is in its 16th year of operations. The core focus of this funding is for recreational purposes. Next slide, please. Okay, so I want to give an update on the year ending June 30th, 2026. Revenues came in at $1,324,949. This includes interest earned of $106,792 and miscellaneous revenue of $15,000. This coming from the Wolves Stadium scoreboard fundraising to pay back the additional cost. Appropriations ended up at $1,004,866, which was 78.8% of the budget expected. $156,497 was budgeted forward to the next year. This is for the community grants such as BMX and the Green River Memorial Park Pathway and Lighting Project. Ending reserves are sitting at $3,334,638, with undesignated amount of those reserves at $1,780,579. The increase in reserves is $320,082. For the fiscal year 2027, the 1 mil will generate $1,095,508. This is due to a decrease of 1.54% in our district's assessed valuation for 2026. Last year, the revenues came in a bit higher than expected, and this could happen again this year. We take the conservative route and use the assessed valuation as our baseline for doing this budget. Next slide. I mentioned the beginning fund balance before. So our revenue budget will be $1,175,508. Our appropriations are $1,738,144, with reoccurring expenditures of $873,394. And we are also looking at replacing the Green River High School turf field in summer of 2027. Our grants for this year are totaled at $291,126. For June 30th, 2027, these are the reserved designations. We are still adding to the turf fields for their future replacements. We ended up with an undesignated fund balance of $1,378,082. And with that, I would like to ask for your approval of the budget. Any questions?
Katie, just overall, with the reduction in taxes, how did that overall impact us?
We had a decrease of 1.54%.
Okay. Not the 25% we were.
Well, last year was like about 17%, 17.93%, and so this year it went down again, 1.54. So.
Okay, so we're at about 18% down. And that will apply also to our BOCES funds, is that right?
Yes.
Just ultimately, we're able to fund less because we have less.
Yep. You're correct.
And just a point of clarification, as I understand the 25% reduction of property tax, that's takes effect to your primary property, your residential primary property, not industry property taxes. And industry property taxes is the majority of our revenues that come in. So even though there's a 25% reduction in the taxes that we experienced, it's not a direct 25% cut to our revenues brought in.
Right.
That and also assessed valuations, as I've heard from some folks that own property around town, they went up. So the amount of tax, the percentage of tax that was taken went down, but at the same time your value of your house went up. So that offset some of that tax loss revenue right there. And maybe that's why a combination of those things happened and the deficit was only 1.54%. To our revenue. So that's good to see, because I remember a year ago when we were having this conversation, we were thinking 25% complete reduction to our revenues for the rec board, and that was a scary prospect. So it came out a little better
Yes.
than we thought. Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve the budget?
I'll move it to approve the budget as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, that's done. Comments, I was just going to move and leave that at the other board. So with that being done, I'd like to adjourn this meeting.
Call our meeting to order. We'll start with our roll call. Ashley Castilian here. Tate Davis.
Present.
Mandy Drinkle, we'd like to excuse her. She's not with us today. Daniel Flom.
Here.
Michelle Foley.
Here.
Tommy Toman.
Present.
Tom Wilson.
Present.
Thank you. If we can stand for the pledge, and can we have our media guys lead us in the pledge?
I like that. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. All right. Now is the appropriate time for visitors in the audience to be recognized and to speak on items both on the agenda and of general concerns to the patrons of the Green River Schools. There will be a limit of 3 minutes for an individual and 5 minutes for a group spokesperson. No speaker shall speak more than twice on any issue. The board is legally obligated to maintain confidentiality concerning district personnel, and therefore matters concerning district personnel will not be discussed. Do I have anybody who wants to make a comment?
Hello, Chairman and Board, Superintendent. This is Marlene Brady. I'm speaking on behalf of Representative Scott Heiner. He sent a statement. I'd like to read it publicly. Madam Chair and members of the school board, due to other obligations, I could not attend tonight, but want to address state funding of school activities from my perspective of co-chair of the Joint Recalibration Committee. As you are aware, the new funding model passed by the state legislature changed the formula for activity funding from a school enrollment based to a district enrollment calculation. While this new formula increased activity funding for the majority of districts, there were some districts that will receive decreased funding levels with the new formula. Reducing funds for activities was never the intention of the state legislature, in working on a resolution to restore funding, which will include making the increased funding retroactive to the 26-27 school year. We are actively pursuing two options that include a greater than option, whereby schools will receive the greater of the previous model formula or the new model. The other option being considered would reset the activity funding to the previous formula, but rebase the dollar amounts to what schools are currently spending on activities. It is my expectation that the activity funding issues will be resolved in the next legislative session, and that the results will be retroactive to keep all schools whole with respect to funding. I respectfully request that you not eliminate any activities at this time. Student activities are a vital component of education and an extension of the classroom. Respectfully, Representative Scott Heiner, Joint Recalibration Committee, Co-Chairman, House Majority Floor Leader. And I'll take what time is left. I have just a few comments of my own. Of course, referencing Senate File 81, what we're talking about here, the House did pass 52-7, and the Senate passed 31-0 unanimously. Although I'm not on Recalibration Committee, I concur with Representative Heiner and ask that you not cut any activities while the committee sorts through this issue. As Representative Heiner stated, this may take a little bit of time, but it is the expectation that full funding will be retroactive. Activities are an extension of the classroom, and I ask the board to not make any activity cuts at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Marlene. Do I have anybody else?
May I add the next recalibration meeting is Cheyenne, August 25th and 6th. Thank you.
All right. Hello again. Superintendent Cooper, Chairwoman Castilian, and members of the board. My name is Laura Pearson. I represent Senate District 14, and I'm also an activity driver for 2 school districts. I am asking that you keep these activities whole. The implications on the children that will be affected by the decision you make tonight should be your number one focus, especially knowing that the legislature is actively working on resolving this issue, with talks of retroactive funding to reimburse districts that have to use reserves until we reconvene in January. My worry is, if you cut these sports and the option of resetting activity funding to the previous formula with a rebase to the dollar amounts of what school districts are currently spending, will result in never getting these activities back once they are removed. This is a bipartisan issue, as was finally passing the recalibration bill with 86 out of 93 legislators, following through with a court mandate and our constitutional duties to support education in the state of Wyoming. Let's do what is best for these students, these parents, this district. Understand that the legislature never intended for sports to be negatively impacted. We are working on this. This is part of the process, especially when previous legislatures have failed to uphold their constitutional statutory duties, 21-13-309T, recalibration every 5 years, and the courts get involved. This has not been done since 2010. Also understand that if there truly is an issue with funding, school districts can apply for a bridge loan with 0% interest until we get them paid back. Help is on the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Do we have anybody else?
Good evening, Madam Chair, Custodian, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and the Board of Trustees. Please save my program. How would you feel if your best sport was taken away for your senior year? Your years, specifically 8 seasons of dedication for no final chance. If indoor track is taken away, I will lose the ability to place at state my senior season. I will also lose the chance to break the all-time GRHS 55-meter dash record, which I currently hold the 5th fastest time. I graduate in 10 months and want to leave knowing I did everything to make my senior year the best. Thank you for your time. That was it.
Thank you. Good job. I know it's hard to get up here. Do I have anybody else?
Good evening, Madam Chair Castilian, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. My name is Halen Cordova. I'm an assistant tennis coach for both fall and spring season. Additionally, I'm a graduate from Green River High School, and I'm also a physical therapist here in our community. I'm here to talk about the importance of our spring tennis season. It does go under the radar, but it is a season that is fundamental to our fall season. Thanks to the work of Coach Harder, this fall season is built upon years and years of middle schoolers being able to participate in spring tennis. This tennis program in spring has facilitated so many foundational skills that students learn, and additionally we have students that are now freshmen, sophomore, that are able to place extremely high in state, and it makes our program competitive for a smaller district. Additionally, I feel that this tennis program is so foundational to the culture of Sweetwater County School District 2. My brother was an individual that was able to participate in spring tennis, and because of this, he was able to win a championship and then was awarded South Boys Athlete of the Year once. And so it's just really important for our students to stay engaged year long, especially for academics and injury prevention. I've seen the students that participate in these sports, especially our spring season, even though it's a 5-week season, they're able to hone their skills, they stay engaged in their academics, and then they're also able to prevent injuries that would end their fall season. So I would just really appreciate that you guys really put forth this thought process towards both our students and the school district and our identity as a school district, and just really keeping those foundations at your decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Halen. Anybody else?
Good evening, Madam Chair Castilian, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. I am here to address my concerns about the mandatory physicals. And some of my concerns are that after dedicating the best 8 to 12 years of our physical health to this demanding profession as custodians, employees could be terminated because of the cumulative wear and tear of the job has affected their ability to meet the required standards, rather than given the opportunity to complete their careers and retire. I would also like clarification regarding the administration of these physicals, who will have access to these results, and if an employee does not meet the required standards, what protections will be in place? Specifically, will there be a disability program or another process to support employees who are no longer able to perform the job due to the physical demands of their service?
Thank you. Do I have anybody else?
Madam Chair Castilian, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Cooper, I'm Phil Harder, the head coach for tennis, and you guys are at an impossible impasse. I respect your decisions. Regardless, you have to make a budget decision. You know, whether there's political posturing happening or not. At the end of the day, we won't know till February or March if that money's coming, and it will be with newly elected politicians, both on this board and at the state legislature. So we don't know if that would happen or not. We would hope that they would honor some of the discussions that they've brought up. I really wish that comes true. I hope they do follow through on some of the stuff that they've mentioned in this board. But that doesn't help your decision today, because you got to get a budget passed. And so chances are it'll be cut. Just know that we'll keep working hard, and hopefully they fix it. That's my only hope. And then, you know, maybe the fiscal year 27, 28, you can bring it back. But once you cut, it's super hard to bring back. And I've had countless conversations with Tony Good. He's certainly helped me understand some things, and it's hard to accept that your program's going to get cut because it affects kids. And I know you guys know that. You've heard it. You've gotten countless emails, countless conversations. It's tough, but we'll go with what you say, and we'll make adjustments this spring to our programs so that we can still be successful in the fall. But just know that if it does get fixed, I hope this board does go back and discuss it and talk about it at least. That's my hope. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Coach Harder. Do I have anybody else?
Madam Chair, Superintendent Cooper and the Board of Trustees. I guess I'll just beat a dead horse one more time for you. As a former GRHS indoor track athlete who, without indoor track, most likely wouldn't have made it to the collegiate level, I think that you guys should reconsider and try and find a middle ground on this budget to help continue the sport so that students can compete at the state level. I understand that there's not money, and I'm mature enough to know that. However, I ask that you find a way to continue allowing seniors to have those last moments. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, with that, we will move ahead. Can I get a motion to approve? Oh, also, I just wanted to, there is a paper at the front door that kind of goes over the budget. If anybody didn't grab one, you can grab one too. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda with the removal of 9.04 because it's included as 4.07 in the consent agenda items, and then with also the addition of 9.11, approval of graduation dates?
I'll motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Moved by Tom. Second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda items with the removal of 4.08?
So moved.
Moved by Michelle.
Second.
Second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, moving on to district goals and leadership activities. 5.01 is here, report on board retreat from July 8th. We just met up in a room at Western here in Green River and just had a chance to discuss changes to the strategic plan. Kind of went over roles of board members, things like that. It's always nice to be able to meet for a minute and make sure we're on the same page as we start the next school year. Does anybody else have any comments?
No, I just thought it was great to get together. It was nice to have the Wyoming School Board Association send a rep to come and kind of run that meeting for us, even though he's a former coach of mine and he took up too much time back then and he still takes up too much time. But anyway, I thought Rod Kessler did a great job, and I thought it's good to sit in a room and have very difficult decisions, or not decisions, but conversations about tough things, you know, and so that's just part of growing as a board and as an organization in general.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I wanted to echo that sentiment. It's good to see the dedication of the board. We were all present. I appreciate the prep time that Ashley, you and Scott and others had put in to make it a success and ensure that we covered some key components for the district as we look at the strategy overall.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Well, thank you everybody for making the time to go there, to be there. Because I know it's another night that you had to give up. So thank you so much. Next, we'll move on to 5.02, crucial conversations. Mrs. Covey.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. On June 10th and 11th, our District Leadership Committee came together and spent 2 days with Dallas Myers, who is a longtime Wyoming teacher as well as administrator, and we spent a couple of days having a discussion centered around crucial conversations. And anytime you are in leadership roles, we know crucial conversations happen on a daily basis, and we wanted to help provide some tools for that and some directions. So I'm going to give you just a little bit about this. So what are crucial conversations? They are opposing opinions. There's always strong emotions and high stakes usually at the forefront when crucial conversations are needing to take place. And we know many times the root cause of these conversations are centered around human problems that lies in how people behave when others disagree with them. And we know people hesitate sometimes to raise concerns, or they're wanting to avoid addressing problems and are wanting to withhold input that matters most. And I think one thing we know in our jobs that it's important that we can have healthy discourse in order to continue to grow and make things even better. But those can be hard, and we wanted again to provide some tools for our leadership committee around that. We know sometimes concerns can go unspoken, a disagreement can be softened, and a conflict can be handled poorly. I think we've all experienced that in our life. So we know crucial conversations address that important issues left unaddressed can create problems. Decisions made without full input can create a situation. Disagreements that escalate into unproductive conflict can have an impact, and we know all those conflicts can slow the work ahead that we have planned. So with that, crucial conversations help support our district leadership team and help them notice when those conversations carry risk, how to interpret what's happening, and address those in a productive manner, and how to speak up when it's difficult or risky. We did some role playing, some modeling, some practicing with that. We discussed addressing problems that directly, instead of avoiding them. We all know if we handle things sometimes at that smallest level, it can really help avoid things getting bigger. I think we've all reflected on that ourselves of, ooh, I wish I would have gone back and had that conversation because now it's even bigger. It gave our district leadership committee some navigation to help through disagreement without escalating a conflict and maintaining dialogue under pressure, as well as follow through on decisions and commitments. And so I think those 2 days that our district leadership committee spent with Dallas Myers really helped kind of strengthen their toolbox and help support them in those leadership roles when those potential crucial conversations may arise. So just a little bit about some of the leadership training that took place on a couple days early in June before our administrators and our other district leadership left for the summer. Any questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, oh, you're still up. Next, we have consider approval of certified contracts for 2026-27.
We do not have any certified contracts to approve, but I'll stay up for the next one too.
Okay, and then we have consider approval of certified resignations.
We have one late resignation that came in. It was Sydney Hosford, a SPED teacher at Lincoln Middle School. I want to reassure you that Dr. Demaray and myself, as well as the Lincoln administration team, are on this. In fact, we have begun some interviewing process and hope to have this position filled very soon. So I appreciate your approval of Sydney Hosford as a resignation for SPED teacher at Lincoln Middle School.
Thank you. Can we have a motion to approve the certified resignation?
I move to approve.
Moved by Tommy, second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have our update on summer school and ESY. Dr. Demaray.
All right, thank you, Madam Chair, Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. This is just a really quick overview of how our summer school session has gone. It's wrapping up here this week. And so we just kind of wanted to give you some numbers on how our students have done. Our elementary session will finish Thursday, and we've had about 90 students attend regularly. We had 100 that were signed up to attend, and for a number of reasons, some of those students sometimes aren't able to make it, but 90 is still a pretty good number. It's kind of following our trend of how many students usually attend, and we do think that those timed, we've made some changes last year, if you recall, where instead of kind of going right after school for a month or so, now we've kind of expanded it into July, and we only go 3 days a week for our students and our staff. I think it's given everybody kind of a chance to have longer weekends, enjoy some time with friends and family. And I think our staff for sure has been, I think, appreciative of that, as well as knowing that they're going to be done here this week. It'll give them a few weeks off before the school year begins with all of our professional development, and it allows students to also have a break, which I think is important for them to have a chance to recharge. Our middle school, a little bit less this year. We had 14 students that regularly attended. Around 20 were, asked to see if they would like to participate. We've had two great teachers there that were at the high school, and it's. I mean, I know Anne Marie and I go up there and we check on them and so forth. But it's amazing to
to see the engagement that they have. I mean, middle school could be, you know, a challenging time, but yet to have them come in the summer as well, and just to see how much fun they're having learning for ELA and math. So kudos to that group. But they're all wrapped up. They finished on July 1st, and so they're going to have a nice little break here before the school year begins. The high school, of course, this is a credit recovery opportunity for students, and I will say this year we had less failing grades, which is a positive to highlight. So we didn't have as many students needing to recover credits. Again, I think that goes to our high school staff and our administration there and the work that they've done to try to reach all of our students and make sure that our students are not failing those classes. So when we all wrapped up, there was 45 semester classes finished, which comes out to be 22.5 credits recovered. Just so you're aware, you get a half credit per semester for each of those classes. So again, that's, you know, we're really pleased with that. And towards the end, as students can finish recovering those credits, then they're free to go. And so towards the end, there was hardly anybody left up there, which is a good sign, right? That's our goal, is for them to finish. And we still had our in-person instruction available for our students as well, which I think has been a good hit with our students, where they're able to not only participate on the software that provides that credit recovery, but then to get a content teacher that's there that can you know, explain and make sure that they're understanding what they are learning. So, which is our goal at the end of the day. Extended school year is again a special education programming for our district, and it follows our elementary schedule. So 3 days a week. We have some morning sessions, some afternoon sessions. We had 53 students sign up this year, which is a little bit less than we've had in the past. But again, you know, it's well attended, and it provides that consistency for our students with disabilities to make sure that when they come back to school in the fall, they haven't had a 3-month break. They're going to have about a month, which we again think that that's important for our staff to try to reduce burnout and some of those components, but also to give families a chance to not feel guilty for traveling with their kids or going on a vacation or traveling with them or camping or any of those things that we enjoy to do in Southwest Wyoming. So again, you know, great attendance, and we just appreciate all of our staff, from our summer school staff to our ESY staff, for all their extra time that they're giving in the summer to make sure that our students are receiving those services. Lastly, we have our ELL Jumpstart program, and that'll start at the end of this month. It just runs for a couple weeks, and it's just to give kind of those elementary students who are learning English to kind of a jump start into the school year. They practice, you know, vocabulary and a lot of those components, and have had really good success with that. And so we just wanted to remind those students that will be attending that. That'll be starting in July 27th. So, all right. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great work. All right, next we will move on to bid request items. 8.01, request to use NCPA contract to purchase staff laptops for Monroe, Washington, Harrison Elementaries. JR.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair Castilian, Dr. Cooper, board members. It's that time of year. We got staff laptops at Monroe, Washington, and Harrison Elementaries that are all end of life. So we replaced Truman last year. They're ahead by a year. So we're requesting that we use NCPA purchasing contract 01-169 to purchase these staff laptops at $152,460.96.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the request in the amount of $152,460.96?
So moved.
Moved by Tom.
Second.
Second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have request for approval to go out for an RFP for the GRHS CTE design build services.
Good evening,
Okay.
Madam Chair, Superintendent Cooper, members of the board. Yes, we would like to go out for a RFP for the CTE design build services and see if we can get those CTE spaces up to snuff.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the RFP for the GRHS CTE Design Build Services?
I move to approve.
Moved by Tommy,
Second.
second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, maintenance summer projects update.
It's there somewhere. So just some little slides. This isn't everything that's going on. It's just kind of a cross section of the bigger stuff. The burners at Jackson are complete. They're nice shiny red pieces on the front there. Increases the efficiency of those boilers by about 20%. Should be good. The old burners were worn out anyway, so this needs to be done. We're much better off with these. Next one, please. Boiler room gaskets. The valves and gaskets are replaced. You can see the brass one up there. That was an old one, and you can see where it's been leaking. It's corroded. The new ones are the valve portion is upright now, the way they should be installed. These were not installed correctly from the get-go of the building of the high school. So we won't be going through getting dripped on anymore. We're just waiting on insulation for up there, and that'll also be complete. This is the beginning of the HVAC upgrade. They've been working quite hard over there. There's been 3 or 4 people over there that have been, some of them are putting in controls, some of them are doing piping over there, and it's going to be a much better, more efficient system over there also. And here's some of we have a dozen summer crew that are working for us, and here are some of them up the FFA classroom. This was the tiered room. You can see on the wall behind them where the steps used to be. It is much more flat now. We're just waiting on carpet up there. And that's all I had for you. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are busy this summer. All right, next we have permission to go out for RFP for a full-size SUV as a replacement for Unit 321.
Madam Chair, Custodian, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, trusted members of the board, the Transportation Department would like your approval to go out for RFP to replace Unit 329. This is a technology vehicle. We're not replacing it one for one. This will be a full-size SUV, something that the Technology Department needs. They're currently using a box truck that's like 35 years old, so we would like your approval to go out for RFP.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to go out for an RFP for a full-size SUV not to exceed $70,000?
So moved.
Moved by Tate,
Second.
second by Dan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, next we have permission to go out for an RFP for a dump trailer to replace Unit 429.
Yeah, so this dump trailer will be replacing a dump truck that we recently sold in our summer sell-off. This is for the maintenance department.
Okay, thank you. And is it 426 or 429?
It's 426.
426, okay. I just didn't want to say that wrong. Okay, so can I get a motion to approve to go out for an RFP for the dump truck not to exceed $9,500?
Dump trailer, yes.
Or dump trailer, sorry.
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have requesting approval to become an education service provider for our local area. Dr. Cooper.
Yeah, thank you. This is an opportunity for our district to be an education service provider. Many districts across the state are registering with WDE to do this service for our families who homeschool their students. As you know, homeschool families can receive up to $7,000 in education funding to go towards certified credentialed education programs, whether that's online school or your local school district. So our application packet is in your board packet, and it just clearly outlines what we're requesting, and outlines the specifics of how much a course would cost, or even an amount of time at an elementary school. And so we factored all that based off the revenues we would receive typically from our per pupil revenue funding from the state. And then the really nice thing about this is the state is partnering with a third-party entity called Odyssey. They will manage all the funding and the credits. So once we're registered as an education service provider, the parents then would be able to look at the kind of a course catalog of what we're able to offer, some pricing. If they see something that lines up that complements their schooling work, then maybe it's like a calculus class or something really, a chemistry class or something very high level, we could provide that for X amount of dollars. They would then apply for that class for their student. We would we would report that to this group, the Odyssey with WDE, and get the funding back. Odyssey keeps like a digital wallet for every homeschool student, so that then they have 7,000, then they have 6, then they have 5 as they use those credits each year for courses they want to take at the local school district or with other entities, maybe some online schooling options as well. So that's why we're applying for this, so we have the option and we could provide the opportunity for our families who are homeschooling in the region.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the request to become an education service provider?
To do that.
Moved by Michelle,
Second.
second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have an update on the GRHS CTE facilities renovation plans.
Just a quick update here. I've provided a 14-month strategic plan for this project that we produced. Logan and I actually worked collaboratively on it with our facilities committee in the late spring, early summer, really trying to address how are we going to accomplish this so that next summer all this work is fully done and renovated in those 3 main shop areas. You saw a little bit of work that we could do with our maintenance department and our students this summer in the FFA classroom area, and we're continuing to do the project out at the FFA site. We can tackle some of those projects, but this interior shop area needs to be designed. That's why you heard about a request to go out for bids for design build approach for this work. We will be working with engineers and contractors through a collaborative effort this fall, and we will be bringing back information to this board as we work through that process. And then I would imagine by winter time we would actually have a firm idea of what we are going to be able to accomplish in the summer of 27. You have that 14-month plan, and it was shared a month or 2 ago. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions or discussions at this time? Okay, thank you. Moving on to 9.03, consider approval of general fund and special revenue fiscal year 2026 budget amendment. Katie Harder.
Okay. Good evening, Madam Chair Castilian, Dr. Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. We are amending the 25-26 general fund and special revenue budgets. These amendments show the changes in instructional support expenditures, and this is due to the conclusion of special revenue grants and those expenditures being reallocated to the general fund, and also more expenses than previously anticipated in the special revenue budget.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the general fund and special revenue fiscal year 2026 budget amendment?
So moved.
Moved by Tom.
Second.
Second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have 9.05, open hearing on the district budgets.
Okay. Good evening again. I hope you're ready to hear lots of numbers. So, first of all, I would like to thank everyone, the board, the IBN process, the GREA team, the business team, and the administration here at Central. It has been a full team effort. For the 2027 fiscal year, we are implementing the new recalibrated model from the 2026 legislative session. It includes the instructional silo and a 2-year rolling average. Student enrollment decreased from last year by 97 students. We will be using the rolling average ADM for funding instead of the actual. We are continuing to utilize model funding, grant funding options, and attritional savings and cash reserves. The Board of Trustees and GREA agreed, and we were able to increase our certified salary schedule base by $5,500, with the vertical step being amended to $1,000. Experience and education steps were granted. The support staff salary schedule increased by $1.48 an hour, and experience steps of 25 cents per hour. Proportional adjustments were applied to all other salary schedules. We are also continuing to offer diversified health insurance plans, and also the Wyoming retirement increased by 0.5%, which half of that 0.25 went to the district paid benefit, and the other was applied to the employee deduction. We have a total of appropriations of $67,847,820. And I will go over each of these categories in later slides. A quick note on the ADM. This is a look at how the ADM has progressed over the years. For fiscal year 2027, we are using the rolling average. We have a loss of 94 on our funding ADM. This is with the new 2-year rolling average. With the 3-year rolling average, this would have only been a loss of 65, so the difference is 29. Sweetwater 2 assessed valuation decreased by 1.54%, which generates the 25 mills of $27,387,704. The county assessed valuation experienced a decrease of 2.09%. Nonetheless, we believe that we will generate $4,087,047, which is our portion, 30% of the county 6 mil. And then the other portion goes to Rock Springs. This is an overall summary of the funding that we are getting. The foundation guarantee is $36,579,534. And the special education reimbursement, retirement, and Daggett tuition, which are all off model, for a total of $48,721,533, with an overall increase of $4,494,149. Okay, so this is our entitlement scenario. So we switched from recapture to entitlement. The guarantee is $36,579,534. The state looks at your local resources, which is your local taxes of 25 mil and the 6 mil that you're going to collect. The estimated amount we are going to collect is $32,707,773, which makes up 89.4% of our guarantee. Then our local resources, like vehicle taxes and those other things, total $3,053,605. So our total local resources are $35,761,378, putting us in an entitlement situation of $818,156. And I would like to note that this is different than the summary in the budget booklet that I handed out last Friday. This is a projected guarantee and a projected entitlement amount, and this is subject to change. The state can make technical corrections, and the district can make corrections to the 100, which is the budget model report, and it can be revised until May 31st of 2027. Appropriations in the general fund are higher than revenues due to a curriculum adoption and a nutrition services subsidy budget of $400,000. Also, the increase to special education and transportation salaries and benefits increases that will be reimbursed to the district in fiscal year 2028. The salaries and benefits are running at 81% of new revenues, and the non-salary budgets are running at 19% of revenues. A quick look at our cash reserves. During the legislative session this year, Senate File 81 increased reserve allowance amount to 20% for ending date June 30th, 2028. The undesignated reserve will be sitting at 20.09% at $8,866,230 as of June 30th, 2027, which is an estimate, and this now includes the pre-97 reserve. We also have our hold harmless impact reserves as well. Earlier in this year, I stated that we would end the fiscal year 2026 with approximately 27%, and I'm sure you were wondering what happened to the other 7%. The new reserve percentage formula is no longer just based on the guarantee amount. It now also includes the special education reimbursement in that calculation. So this greater amount of basis for the reserve calculation decreased our previously calculated percentage. Okay, major maintenance. There is an availability of $6,473,427. Revenue decreased because the allowable square footage used in the calculation returned to 115% after previously being increased to 135% under Senate File 34. In special revenue, there is $3,371,438 in revenue and $3,285,080 in appropriations. So a nutrition services update for the fiscal year 2026. Revenue was $1,497,188, with paid meals being $433,838, with a federal reimbursement with 44 cents per paid meal. Summer meal program reimbursement this year was $33,167, which is not included in the total revenues above for the fiscal year 2026 because we just received these numbers yesterday. For fiscal year 2026, there was a $500,000 subsidy from general fund, and expenses were $1,383,467, which was lower than what we budgeted for. The ending reserves are $511,971. So for this year, we are budgeting revenues at $1,292,319 and appropriations at $1,770,308. With the increase of in cost of food, along with the salary and benefits increase, the revenues are not meeting the demands of the expenditures. In capital projects, we have the aquatics premium and maintenance accounts, and we have some revenues coming in from school facilities and the rec board projects. And again, this is the mirror side of the turf field replacement at Green River High School. Special reserve for equipment is for equipment needs and replacement, and we intend to use this for maintenance, technology, and activities equipment this year. The appropriations are $3,131,220. And this slide is just for your information. The pupil activity fund's current balance is $528,366, and it's amazing how much the students raise each year. This is the debt margin, and it's 10% of the assessed valuation. So it is $109,550,817, and we have no current outstanding debt. So this is the limit of indebtedness for our bonds. The mill levies, these are all voluntary mill levies for Sweetwater BOCES, Region 5 BOCES, and for the rec bill, there is going to be a slight decrease, but the total mill levy stays static at 44.7 mil. And I'm done. Any questions?
No questions, I guess. Okay, we will move on to consider approval of Region 5 Board of Cooperative Education Services mill.
And that's 0.2%, right? 0.2?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Tom,
Second.
second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, consider approval of Sweetwater Board of Cooperative Education Service mill. And what's that percentage?
0.5.
0.5.
So moved.
Moved by Tate,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, consider approval of rec mill levy for fiscal year 2026, which is 0.1, correct?
1 mil.
Or 1 mil. Okay. Can
I
we get a
move to
motion?
approve.
Moved by Tommy,
Second.
second by Dan. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next, consider adoption of the District 2026-27 budget.
So we can't have a negative motion, so I'm going to motion to approve, then we'll have discussion and then.
'Kay.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve by Tom,
Second.
second by Michelle. Any discussion? And we'll start with Tom.
Well, I, along with all of our colleagues, have spent countless nights over the last months pondering what's the right thing to do. We've learned that we cannot count on what might happen in the next legislative session, and as Phil pointed out, we don't even know that the legislators that have stood before us today are even going to be there. And we don't know who's going to be on this board, so we can't put our weight in what might happen. And even if I believe that every one of our local legislators wanted to make all of this right, it's not necessarily up to them, because as Laura pointed out, 95% of the legislators approved this budget. So to sway over 50% of them to make a change is not realistic. I appreciate those who serve in the legislature, because their job too is very thankless. They have much on their plate. And I appreciate the people who come to the podium and with passion and respect plead their case, whether it's the budget or an athletic program, etc. The one who stood at that podium many years ago to put indoor track into the program was me. Unfortunately, with enrollment declining by the model provided by our lawmakers, we're asked to do more with less. Decisions like this are extremely difficult, and they affect us all, either directly or indirectly. We currently subsidize the activities by $400,000 a year above and beyond what the state gives us. Out of the general fund above, we provide that already. Now, due to the model, we're left with an additional $240,000 shortfall based on this year's legislation. In addition, traditionally, we've been able to absorb some of that through the interest we've earned because we've been frugal. But now, based on the model, that requires us to give back 50% of the interest that we earn. we have to send 260,000 some odd dollars back to the state because we were frugal with our money. We've been able to use that money in the past to subsidize a lot of things, including activities. We're elected to this board to be custodians of the public's money and to provide a budget that is sustainable and responsible. All that said, with much trepidation and anguish, I have to cast my vote to adopt a budget as presented.
Thank you, Tom. Tate?
I think Tom said everything. I echo his sentiments. As a board, we're in a lose-lose situation here. We could roll the dice and come up short, or we can do what's fiscally responsible right now and ensure that programs in the future don't get cut. It hurts. I think it hurts as a community as a whole. Countless nights, for sure. Sleepless nights, absolutely. It's hard to look these students in the face and not hurt for them. But we were appointed, elected to this position to be fiscally responsible. Declining enrollment. The money's not there. We've been subsidizing for a lot of years. It's something, if we don't get ahead of it now, then in the future it's going to be a lot worse. I thank everybody for being here. I appreciate everybody that's reached out. I feel like as a whole board that we've had a lot of discussions on what we have to do. It hurts.
Thank you. Michelle?
I just want to reiterate what has been said and know that all these decisions have been made with much thought and trepidation. We do, I almost started crying tonight just listening to people speak about the heartache that it's going to cause them, and know that we feel with you, and that Dr. Cooper and Tony, Mr. Beardsley, and Katie, and I'm sure there's others, actually, went line by line and took so much time to see what we could do with the minimal amount of, I don't want to say disaster, but I can't think of another word right now. So know that none of these have been taken lightly. None of these decisions have been taken lightly.
Thank you. I have a statement from Mandy Drinkle since she couldn't be here tonight. She just says, as a member of the school board, I recognize that budget reductions are never easy. Every financial decision we make has an impact on our students, staff, and community. We have approached this with responsibility and careful consideration and commitment to transparency. I understand that developing a balanced budget requires making difficult decisions. I think many of us have lost sleep over this. I know I have myself. As a parent of children that grew up in sports and myself playing many sports, this one hurts. I sympathize with all the parents and children these decisions are affecting. As we have stated, the state has put us up against a wall on our funding for anything outside the classroom. While I celebrate what they've done for our teachers, districts run off many different people and departments, and they have obviously not seen the importance of that. We must operate our district on the funding that is in front of us as of right now. We cannot operate on a promise they will fix the issues. The legislature can tell us they will fix it, but that won't occur until the 2027 legislative session. That will then start impacting the 27-28 school year. I was voted in this position, number one, to do what is right by kids of our district, but also to keep this district in a fiscally responsible position. In order to do that, in October 2025, our administrators have consistently identified areas we can reduce, eliminate, or realign to save money as we knew what could potentially be coming down the pipeline. I want to make one thing clear. We were not zoning in on just spring tennis, spring golf, and indoor track. We sat down and went through every activity and every sport to make changes. Every activity will feel a little bit of this sting. We are fortunate as a district that we are still able at this time to offer at least one season for every sport. Not every district is as fortunate. They are having to cut some sports and activities entirely. These budget deficits have not only affected activities, but they have also affected the whole district in many areas. My fear is if our enrollment continues to decline, we will be up against some harder decisions next year. Our schools are an investment in our community's future. That is why I'm hoping our legislators will make this right next year. I know these decisions are not what people want to hear, but I assure you we have looked at every department to trim down and save the things that are most important. Our priority throughout this process has been to preserve the quality of education while maintaining the district's long-term financial stability. The decisions before us are driven by financial realities, not by a lack of commitment to our schools. Thank you to our staff, students, families, and community for your patience, understanding, and continued support as we work together to meet these challenges responsibly. Mandy. Tommy.
Well, we're certainly facing a difficult decision. It's been a long road getting to this point. I think there certainly was the foresight that we were going to be presented with some funding challenges. Efforts were underway early on. Reductions were being made outside of anything that impacted students. That was first and foremost, and I want to compliment the people involved in that. I am adamantly opposed to reducing opportunities for students. It's hard for me to support these individual items. I can't support them. This has made me revisit my priorities as a board member. What are we here for? The students. I think there's a lot of factors in that for the students, but opportunities is a big one. That being said, we have a responsibility as a board to ensure the long-term sustainability of the district. The facts are, we've been supplementing activities. It's become worse through the latest statute. The declining enrollment, our reduction in student population, it's an inevitable decision that's coming our way, and it's my responsibility to ensure the sustainability of the district.
Thank you. Dan?
Well, most people said exactly what I wanted to say, so we won't beat a dead horse in that one. But it's been a lot of thought. We've all had tons of emails back and forth. What if we do this? What if we do that? Can we do this? Can we do that? I don't know how many times I've emailed Scott. It's hard. And we have to keep the budget where we can actually operate and have room for growth, and hopefully we can have that growth. Hopefully industry comes in, we get the kids back, we can bring sports back on. That is the dream, and that's where I'm hoping we can go.
Thank you. I think everyone pretty much said all the things that I wanted to say. I do want to thank our business department and our administrators for the countless hours they spent on the budget this year. And thank you also to the board members who volunteer their time because they value our schools and want to give back to our community. I know everyone here has put a lot of time, effort, thought, like everyone said, sleepless nights over decisions to be made. I know our district has done everything possible to make cuts in other places before looking at athletics and activities. We absorbed positions where possible, delegated duties to other staff, and looked at how to be more efficient. And I want to thank the students, staff, and parents who've reached out. I know it's sometimes hard to reach out and voice your opinion, and we certainly appreciate you and hear that. I want our community to know that I know these decisions affect our students and our families, our coaches, our community, and they're hard decisions. I have had my own kids in these programs and watched them learn and grow and flourish from them, and it's hard. It is heart-wrenching. And I do want to be sure that people know that we aren't targeting certain activities or sports. We have looked across, and everyone will feel the tightening of the budget just because that's the reality that we are facing. And like everyone said, it's a culmination of things with our declining student population, which has been for years and years, And then with just the way the different things came down with financially, it just makes it really tight. So I will vote to pass the budget because I feel like we have to act on what has been given to us this year while maintaining a sustainable budget with the declining student population that we have in our district. And I just feel like's been said, I hope the promises are true, and I hope that, funding and everything changes, but as has also been said, it's an election year. There's so many moving parts that I think our job as a board is to be fiscally responsible. We have a wonderful district and community, and my hope is that as we move forward, there will be a restructuring, not elimination of these programs, so these athletes can continue to have opportunities for improvement in the off season, just as many of our other programs do as well. If you have questions or want more specifics, you can reach out to Dr. Cooper or to Katie Harder, and they can explain things in greater detail. They will make time to do that. And again, we value the district and are grateful for our wonderful community and the continued support of Sweetwater District 2. With that, can I, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have approval of Wells Fargo P Cards Exploration Transition.
Good evening again. We are exploring an alternative program to our current Wells Fargo Business Elite credit cards. The P cards carry great potential for increased ease of expense reporting and management, and we ask for your approval to pursue and possibly implement this new program in August.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the Wells Fargo P Cards Exploration and Transition?
So moved.
Moved by Tate.
Second.
Second by Michelle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of graduation dates, which would be, they're all over Memorial Day weekend, correct?
For Green River High School, those are the Saturdays of Memorial Day weekend at 10 a.m. We had asked Thomas Jasmine, the new head principal at the high school there, to talk with other leaders at the school around the time we were doing the graduation ceremony out in the rain out there that same rainy weekend. And so he pulled together some consensus around going back to these dates and times. And apparently these were the dates and times that were used in the past years. This is in better alignment with our new calendars. If you remember our new calendars starting next year, we end school before Memorial Day weekend. So then this Saturday at 10 a.m. is the time for the graduation ceremony. The other ones on there are for Expedition Academy, and this just stays in alignment with what we currently provide, in that they are the Thursday before the Saturday graduation at Green River. They have their graduation at 7 p.m. on the Thursday before.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the graduation dates for 2027, 2028, and 2029 for GRHS and also Expedition Academy?
So moved.
Moved by Tom.
I second.
Second by Tommy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have approval of the 2026-27 GRHS handbook. Mrs. Covey.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent Dr. Cooper. I am up here in place of Mr. Jasmine. He is not able to be here tonight, so I will do my best to potentially answer questions. If you have further questions, I will definitely take those down and visit with him. First of all, I wanted to let you know that Mr. Jasmine is, along with his leadership team, as well as collaboration with different departments, took time to go through that handbook because he really became familiar with it. And he kind of highlighted kind of the what's new for 26-27. I think you've probably had some opportunities to take a peek at that. A few of the highlights within that book is just adding some of the, first of all, is the profile of a graduate and adding some of the WDE's organizational chart within that, as well as the 7 competencies within that handbook. The second piece that they had some more discussion on was the time to excuse absences. In the past, it has had 2 days to excuse, and they really felt with technology that they wanted to give that a 1-day allowance for parents to do the excusal of absences there. The next piece was the personal electronic device aspect, and really right now we're still in the works of finalizing that policy here before our board. So we have just kind of given that a reference and nothing specific in case there were any adjustments that needed to be made. So they just asked you to please refer to policy JICJ for specific details depending upon that approval. And then he visited quite a bit with Mr. Beardsley in our activities office around eligibility guidelines. And it looks like here that they've changed students having until that 4th day of the week to correct their eligibility status to the 3rd day. And this holds better accountability for those students to keep their grades up, and it greatly supports our coaches and sponsors in preparing a student for that competition for that week. So when a coach knows by 4 p.m. on that 3rd day, this gives the coach at least 2 days to prepare a new starter for a competition, and typically occurs, when those usually occur Friday and Saturdays as well. And they also changed that if a student didn't get their grade 2 passing by that 3rd day, that the student athlete would be ineligible for the current week instead of that following week. So instead of being able, I'm not eligible right now, but I can go ahead and play, but next week I won't be able to. So they've kind of made it in conjunction with that. So those are the changes to the Green River High School handbook. Any questions that I can take to Mr. Jasmine?
I don't have a question, but I have a concern.
Okay.
As an old football coach, I don't want to find out on Thursday night I don't have my quarterback. You know,
You're gonna find out
that's
on
why.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I agree with this. I'm just saying. That's,
Gotcha.
The reason it was in place is so that you could prepare with, you knew who you had. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I guess we didn't make a motion. Do I need to
Make a
make?
motion.
Can I get a motion to approve the 2026-27?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Tate, second by Tommy. And everyone voted to approve. We're just going to do it backwards. Okay, next, approval of the 2026-27 District Employee Handbook.
Our employee handbook, again, very, very minor changes, really, what we have done in here. I'm not going to reference exact pieces. We have kept up with the policies that have been changed throughout the course of our school year. So those are the changes in here to reflect that in the Sweetwater County 2026 Employee Handbook.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the 2026-27 District Employee Handbook?
I move to approve.
Moved by Tommy,
I'll second.
second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, approval of the 26-27 Activities, Coaches, and Sponsors Handbook. And then we'll do nutrition.
Good
after.
evening, Madam Chair, Custodian Superintendent Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. Thank you, Anne Marie, for covering one of my main items here, but I wanted to just bring your attention to a couple of different things in the activities handbooks. Now, there are two. You've got your coaches handbook, your coaches and sponsors handbook with some of their regulations, duties, all of that, as well as the participant parent handbook. And in the participant handbook on page 12, I also, in collaborating with Mr. Tom Jasmine, made those changes in the eligibility. We have had problems in the past going back that week and tracking some of the athletes. Tom really feels confident that if kids know and coaches know that that grade starts on Monday and you got till Wednesday to get it, that it will actually reduce the amount of ineligibles because they have to stay on top of things and they have to have those passing grades and get the work done. But it does still give us leeway to work with teaching staff as administrators and all of that, and as parents, to make decisions if something occurs to where that grade couldn't be made up or something. So that has not changed, but that's one highlight. And in the coaching handbook on page 7, I just wanted to highlight, and I wanted to thank Dr. Cooper and our HR department, Anne Marie and Jamie Higbee, but I made sure that I indicated that all of our coaches and sponsors are now evaluated online on our frontline system, and it worked very well this year. I have to do a lot of evaluations, and the nice thing about that is it's very efficient, and it tracks it for you, and we all know that those are done, completed, and we have them on file and record. So I put that in the handbook so coaches know that they're being evaluated online and that there's that process. So that was another thing that I added. And then a third thing I wanted to highlight in the coaches, the student handbook, both handbooks, is that it's great to be able to collaborate with our transportation department. On page 19 of the coaches handbook, there's some information that I changed on making decisions on transportation, basically if road conditions are bad, and it's going to be a very collaborative effort, and decisions will be made for the safety of our students. So there's some additional things on page 19 that should be good for those decision-making times and will ensure our students are safe. So thanks for working with them. Those are the major differences. With that, I would like to ask you for your approval of both handbooks, and of course, if you have any questions.
Any questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve both the coaches and sponsors activities handbook and the participant activities handbook?
So moved.
Moved by Tom,
I second.
second by Tommy. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair Castilian, I forgot, I was going to embarrass our new athletic trainer. Our new athletic trainer, thank you for your support in ensuring that we have an athletic trainer and in supporting the funding of that. It might be the number one most important thing. Cheyenne Boudreau is here tonight. She's our new athletic trainer. I just wanted to introduce her.
Welcome.
Even though she's a Washington State University Coug, we still like her.
Well, welcome to the district,
Thank
and thank you. All right. Next, we have approval of the 2026-27 Nutrition Services Handbook.
Good evening again, Madam Chair, Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees. The Nutrition Services Handbook is in front of you. I do not have the specific changes. I'm going to assume you have seen those in there. I just don't have them here in front of me this evening. Are there questions?
Is there any questions or discussion? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the 26-27 Nutrition Service Handbook?
So moved.
Moved by Tate.
Second.
Second by Michelle. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, approval of the 26-27 Transportation Handbook.
Madam Chair, Dr. Cooper, and Board of Trustees, we would like to come before you to approve our new transportation handbook. It was basically a rewrite this year. There's probably 90% of it is new. We have a considerable amount of new technology that we will be utilizing in the transportation department, so it kind of outlines what that is and what those expectations are for our employees, as well as some clarifications on conduct and such as working as a professional in the school district. So just a few clarifications, a lot of new stuff regarding technology and such. So any questions?
No. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve 26-27 Transportation Handbooks?
So move.
Moved by Dan.
Second.
Second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much.
You look like you haven't gotten a lot of sleep lately.
Just had a new baby, so you're not sure.
Okay, next we have section 9.16, support staff third reading. Good evening, Madam Chair, Superintendent Dr. Cooper, Board of Trustees. 9.16A through D for third reading. We do not have any revisions to these third reading policies, and I do want to thank our Super 8 as well as our GAREA folks. A lot of work has gone into these over the past several months, so at this point we do not have any revisions for 9.6A through D. I appreciate your consider of approval. Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve 9.16 section E support staff third reading A through D?
I move to approve.
Moved by Tommy,
Second.
second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, 9.17, Section E, support new policies. This is second reading for policies A through H. Once again, we do not have any revisions to policies 9.7, Section E, support new policies, second reading, A through H. I appreciate your consideration of approval. Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve 9.17, Section E, support new policies, second reading, A through H?
I'll motion to approve.
Motion by Tom,
Second.
second by Tate. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next, 9.18, Section E, support revision of current policies, second reading. Policies A through I. We did have one that I'd like to just share a few minor changes. Excuse me. It's G, policy EGAB. We had some suggestions as well as a couple of revisions to this policy. One being we were asked to really look again at the costs of the moving forward with making copies, using paper, and using staff to get any sort of request ready. And at this point, our Super 8 felt those were fair and equitable costs at that time. Another question came about was, how often can you request to avoid that threshold of that $250? As our team met, it was discussed that on, I think it's the third page there, that in addition, the base threshold shall apply on a quarterly basis. So each quarter would bring about a new set of threshold. However, if they were to request records within that quarter, if it met that threshold, they would be required to, or when above it, would be required to pay for that. And then we did add one more piece here under the production and construction costs. In many cases, sometimes we may be asked to use a flash drive to put this information on. After working again with our technology department, Mr. Williams, we would like to provide that flash drive, one, to just ensure there's nothing coming onto our system that could compromise our computer system, virus or things like that. And what we put here that the flash drive would be provided by the district at the applicant's expense. We didn't put a specific expense here is because depending on the size of that flash drive, it'll depend on the cost. So that's where we don't want to give a big flash drive for a large cost when they're only needing it for a small piece. So that would need to be determined on that size. So those were the two minor changes. With that, I would ask for your consideration of approval of 9.18 Section E, support revision of current policy, second reading, A through I. Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion to approve 9.18 Section E, support revision of current policies, second reading with the changes as discussed for A through I?
I'll move to approve with changes.
Motion by Tate,
Second.
second by Tom. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Thank you. We made it through our meeting. Next, we have board and superintendent comments. I don't remember what side I started on last time, so we'll just start with Michelle.
I think you started with me last.
Oh, well, I must like to start right there.
I just want to say thank you to the district staff, Katie and your group, and Tony and Dr. Cooper and everyone that was so diligent to make our decision. It was still difficult, but it was spelled out. We didn't have a lot of choice. But I want to thank you, and it sounds like summer school and ESY was wonderful, and glad we didn't have so many, we didn't have to read a lot of policies this time. But I hope everyone is enjoying their summer. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Tom?
Yeah, well, first of all, I really want to thank Dr. Cooper, Alan, Anne Marie. They cut 18% out of the central office budget and that come to about $1.2 million that they were able to combine jobs, not fill jobs, have the foresight to know that budget constraints were coming. And hats off to all of you, led by Dr. Cooper. Had that not happened, today's budget hearing would have looked a lot different.
Right.
So thank you. Katie, your team, Ashley, I don't know how you keep all those numbers straight in your head, but anyway, thank you very much. This Saturday, down at Ace Hardware, there's going to be FFA Hot Dog Day. So get down there and enjoy a hot dog and support our FFA program. Tommy probably knows a little bit more about how that's going to work, but I know that it's going to cost me money, but it'll just go into a good cause. Anyway, and I would just like to recommend that we start early for next year, because we're going to be right back at this table if trends continue. I would encourage everybody to pay attention to what's going on in Cheyenne. And you can start by paying attention at the voting booth. So take a good look at who's supporting education and who's not, and ask lots of questions and cast your vote accordingly. So.
Tate?
It's been a long, hard process coming to a budget decision. Thank you, everybody that showed up this meeting, the last couple of meetings. The passion from our parents, from our students, from everybody in this district is one of the reasons that we have such a great district. We don't give up fighting for what we believe in. Sometimes we have to make hard decisions. Hopefully, we don't have to make any more of these hard decisions in the future, but with declining enrollment, have some more kids. I don't know what to say. I hope everybody's having a great summer. School's getting ready to start soon, so enjoy what's left of the summer and be safe.
Thank you. Tommy?
Well, it's been a busy summer for me. I think a lot of the district's been busy. It's certainly a time to get everything prepped for the next school year and close out the fiscal year, start the new one. Summer school, obviously, but appreciate all the efforts by district staff to keep things going and prep for the upcoming year. Hope everybody's having a great summer and getting ready for the upcoming school year.
Thank you. Dan?
Just echo a lot of what's been said. Very hard decision. It also taught us as a board to stay together, and it's not fun. There's no way around it. But I'm glad summer school is going well. I know the summer meal program is going well. There's always tons of kids lined up for that. And I get the little cereal bowls for my daughter, so I like it. But I'm glad for all the summer school staff. Those teachers seem to have a blast, even though we're taking up part of their summer. Katie, Ashley, always the best. Yeah, and it's going to come to an end, and we got a new school year coming up very quickly. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. I don't have a lot to add either. Just thank you to Katie and Ashley, and always reworking and running numbers for us. As we said, what if this happened? What if that happened? There was a lot of thought and time and effort put into the decision tonight. And thank you to all of the staff, and looks like summer school is going great and wrapping up, and maintenance super busy. That's like their busy season as they try and get all the things done right before school starts. So thank you to everybody for all that you do for this district. We really do have a great district, and I really appreciate it. Dr. Cooper.
Thank you, board. This is a lot of hard work this summer. We started back in the spring. Actually, we started in the beginning of the school year, really talking about a lot of these tough topics that we were going to have to face. We saw a lot of this coming, and a lot of good work had been done. Hard work has been done. So thank you for hanging together and being a supportive team. Big thanks to my administrative leadership unit right out here. These guys are amazing. I lean on these guys every day, all the time, and they are outstanding. We've had to make a lot of tough decisions in the departments and now activities, and it's been rough, but we're pulling through for the best that we can do for our kids. With the revenues we have. On that note, moving forward, something I've been thinking a lot about and something I want to commit to is next school year, hosting a budget workshop committee. Think of like the calendar committee, how we did that work last October, November, December, around that time of year. This budget committee work would be more January, February, March, and the reason why I would wait till January is because by then we know a lot of the preliminary work the legislators are doing leading up to the session. We have a pretty good idea of the direction they're going. We'll have some rough numbers to work with, some ideas that might have some increases. They're talking about nutrition services and actually better funding for that department, which would be outstanding. That's another area that we subsidize roughly $400,000 a year. You saw the numbers today. Looked like it might actually be more than $400,000 going into next year, which is okay. That's an improvement. We were at 500 plus the year prior. But my point to that is they're looking at funding that area, which would be wonderful. They're talking about funding SROs. That's another area that we fund out of our general fund, that we have interest earned and other little pockets of funding that we're able to patch these areas that we value in our district. And so it'd be nice if the SRO positions were actually recognized at the state level, and maybe each district could have one or two of those positions funded as well. So my point to that is I'd like to do like a community effort, invite a lot of folks to this room right here, just like we did with the calendar committee, make sure we've got a diverse group of stakeholders, some students, teachers, parents, and business owners and the like, and some of you as well. And we'll talk through all the kind of the high level view of our budgeting process and kind of where the dollars have to go. There's obviously dollars for special ed, they have to go there. There's dollars for different departments that have to go to different things. Everything's becoming more and more siloed, so we can talk about a lot of that in January and February and identify where there's some wiggle room and hear some values from our budget committee, so that then we can utilize that input from our stakeholders to be even more transparent and more collective and more collaborative as we go leading up to that preliminary budget presentation in May. This year we had a lot of conversations, a lot of different conversations around the district and with administration and whatnot, but the first real public talking of our budget adjustments came out in May, leading up to that May board meeting, and then it continued on through the summer. I would like to back that process up even further into the year, so we have more time for more discussion and more input from more individuals and constituents across our community. So that's my goal for that. And one kind of fun highlight, you reminded me when you mentioned the hot dog thing for FFA. I don't know that it was mentioned tonight, but we have a Transportation Community Day in 2 weeks. Was that mentioned tonight? It was not. I just saw the flyer came out today or yesterday. It's 2 weeks from today. And if you remember last year, it's going to be similar to that. It's going to be out in the Lincoln Middle School parking lot, and you can actually show up with your kids, and it's a fun activity for kids, and there's things to do for them. There's hot dogs and hamburgers and all that, and bus safety stuff and swag, bus stuff given out. And also you can sign up to actually drive a bus. And I did that last year, and it was a lot of fun. It was my first time driving one of the large buses where you sit up in front of the front tires, and I only hit one cone, so that's not too bad. I still don't think I'm cleared yet for the public roads, or definitely not to carry any students around town yet, but it was fun. I might be able to do that again in 2 weeks. So if you're in the neighborhood 2 weeks from today, I think it's middle of the day, it's like lunchtime, 11:03 I saw on the flyer. Get out there and have some fun with transportation. So Thank you. Thank you all for your dedication to the board and the work of this district. I'm really looking forward to this next school year. We're wrapping up my first year here, and I'm very excited about next year. We have a lot of great people coming on board and a lot of restructuring throughout the schools and the departments and everything. And I think there's a lot of positive energy out there that's going to really launch us into this next school with some good momentum. So thank you.
All right, thank you. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Tate,
Second.
second by Michelle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yep.
Motion carries.